Good morning everybody and welcome back to Thai Talk with Dan. Now, earlier on in January we shared a story from Paul, who's a subscriber to the channel, about a woman that he met in Patong. She was a bar girl and he went back to Isaan with her and he wanted to escape the village as she was getting a bit crazy, smashing his phone up and getting a bit violent and a bit rude, etc. And she was drinking every day. If you haven't seen that story, then I'll put the link down in the description, guys. But he sent in another email. It's a very, very long story, this one, guys. And it's to tell you about exactly what went on in his life here in Thailand, in Phuket, in Patong, and then going to the village in Isaan. It's a very, very crazy story, guys, so you may need to stick the kettle on for this one and prepare yourself. So I've come indoors as it's very, very noisy outside. Chickens, dogs, the missus is painting people's nails galore, so it's all going on. So let's jump straight in to Paul's story. Alright, Dan, I hope you are well. I thought I would give you an update on the situation regarding the girl I escaped from in Isaan. I guess I should point out that she is a bar girl and give you some history. I met her around April last year. It was low season and like you, I wasn't really interested in bar girls, just playing pool and having a laugh. Anyway, she came on to me and was in 5 years of my age. She is 45 and I'm 50. She was not the best looking of the bar girls, but very funny and we got on well. I still wasn't interested in bar girls and I was telling the Australian bar owner this and she said, come on, if you don't do a bar girl, you're missing out on the full Thailand experience. Anyway, I declined her offer, but went back the next night to play pool. Again, she made a beeline for me and that night said she would boom me for free. She also at some point explained that she hated her job, has never slept with fat, overweight men and just wants a decent looking boyfriend. Well, I train, I'm in decent shape, I'm not overweight or old and I'm looking okay for my age. So yeah, I thought maybe it's true. I wasn't convinced, but we got drunk together, ended up down the beach swimming in the sea at around 3 AM. And whilst we was in the sea, she instigated boom. Wow, reminded me of my youth in Spain. I was quite blown away and thought, well, if she's giving me boom for free, maybe she is genuine. I will say at this point for the early part of the story, the bar girl mostly was very cute and sweet to begin with. It's also worth pointing out that she was new to Patong, having arrived around February 2021, a fact that I can confirm through mutual friends here in Patong and having checked her history. I had just split up with another Thai girl, a very nice Thai woman, but I wasn't quite feeling it. I did end up playing the two of them for almost a year, but that's another story. Back to the bar girl. I thought I would spend a few days with her, so against my principles I bar-fined her for about 3 days. I took her around Phuket, but she wasn't drunk, she was very quiet, a bit boring to be honest, but we used to talk by translator. Back then her English was poor and my Thai was zero. I still stayed with her and we would go out every night and play pool, meet some of her friends, etc. But every night she would become very jealous and start a fight with another Thai woman in the bar, then become stroppy with me. After the third night I had had enough, thinking she was ungrateful, brought her back to my hotel and told her to pack her things and go. Hit the road, Jack. She cried and begged, but I had enough and she eventually left. I ended up back with my Thai ex and soon left for England for a couple of months. Back in England, and with it being low season and just after COVID, the bar girl would message me now and again when she was fed up. She was very unhappy with life in Patong. No money. I know Patong was quiet then because I was still in contact daily with my then girlfriend. She would sit alone down the beach. I felt sorry for her, so I just messaged her back as a friend. I always felt sorry for her. She had a good way of making me feel sorry for her, but I wasn't really that interested in her back then, and I was happy with the girlfriend that I had. I also was speaking to a female friend in England about my travels in Thailand, and we spoke about this girl. She gave me a view about the jealousy. She said, "Imagine us blokes were trying to bag a foreign husband, managed to bag a boyfriend, went out for a drink, and wherever we went, lots of good-looking, muscular men were waiting to snatch her away from you." I thought about this and remembered wherever I went with that girl, Thai girls were still smiling and hitting on me. I'm sure it would drive us blokes crazy. So I thought, okay, I understand the jealousy thing. I returned to Patong around August to be with my other girlfriend, but we had some problems and finished. So I thought I would go and meet the bar girl again. She was so excited to see me, and we spent a few days together. She invited me to stay in her room, so I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. However, once she was sober, she would just sit on her phone watching Facebook videos of food in Isaan. Not a compatible partner for me intellectually, although I will say she was insatiable and always instigated boom boom. However, I thought at that time the same as I would think in England. Nice girl, but a bit boring. So after a few days, I ended the relationship. Once again, she appeared heartbroken and asked me if I would take her to the temple so she could pray or whatever it is they do. It was some kind of event in the year where they could spend a week at the temple, so I took her there. I felt really bad, but I had to choose what was right for me. I ended up getting back with my ex again, and we went to the north for a few weeks, visiting the villages around Prey and Chiang Mai. We had a good time, and the village people were lovely. Not once was I asked for money, but we had a problem again. The problem was always my sex drive was higher than hers, so we parted again when I returned to Patong. I moved into a hotel, and I can't remember how, but the bar girl found out and came to the hotel. Although she was boring when not drunk, her desire for boom boom was through the roof. I never really fancied her, but she kept coming over after work and giving me boom boom for free. Not a bad deal, eh? The two girls became aware of each other. My ex had started stalking me, and they even argued in the hotel lobby on a few occasions. Me and an English guy from London next door to me would both sit there and laugh at this. I should probably point out that I've not exactly been perfect in all of this, so I hold my hands up to my part in possibly creating this situation. Eventually, again, I got bored of her due to a lack of conversation. By this time, her English was better and my Thai was well on its way to being able to talk, flirt, and have a day-to-day conversation with women. But she still lacked the conversation that I need in a relationship, and by now we was both capable of communicating better. She was also argumentative when drunk and jealous, and she was very jealous of the fact I went to Chiang Mai with my ex and not Isaan with her, as they were both stalking each other's Facebooks, not to mention the local gossip of the Thai girls. So I got rid again and got back with my ex. I returned to England for 6 weeks in October, returning back to Thailand around the start of December. By this time I was tiring of the other girl, so I started to talk more to the bar girl. She would call me most nights and again invited me to stay in her room when I returned. She claimed she loved me had never charged me for Boom Boom, and I was the only man that had ever visited her room. And why would she invite me to live there if she did not love me? Fair points, I thought. So here's my state of mind returning to Thailand. I know all her friends, both Thai and Phalang, have become friends with them myself. Free Boom Boom, which she usually instigated, 4,000 baht a month accommodation in Patong in high season, never asked me for money, I'm not fat or overweight, decent body, and we had some good moments together. Both our language skills had improved, and we had some deep conversations from the heart, mostly her actually via messenger whilst I was in England. At this point she's been very cute with me for the most part. What could go wrong? I returned to Thailand, but I did sneak in a quick 3-day trip to Pattaya before I went back to Patong. Never again. Maybe another quick story another time. Anyway, back to Patong I went. She arranged a taxi for me from the airport to Patong and I moved into her room. We went out and had some good nights, but the jealousy was still there and she kept insisting on going down my phone. One night, both drunk, she insisted on going down it again. I said, fine, but I'm going down your phone also. She blazingly handed me her phone. I've never gone down a girl's phone before, but I was fed up with her constantly going down mine. So I thought, why not? As I took the phone, she tried to snatch it back. So I laughed and ran off with the phone and went down it. Well, the same sincere rubbish she was sending me, she was sending to quite a lot of blokes. Half decent looking blokes, to be fair. And as for the fat older men, she was coining it in. I come from a working class town in Essex, so I'm not exactly holier than thou and fairly streetwise. So I laughed off the blokes sending money, more fool them. But I was a bit annoyed that she was sending other blokes the same love lines that she was sending me, but not for long. Like I said, I haven't exactly been perfect myself. She explained that the reason she was messaging other men was because she never felt confident in me because I had dumped her a few times, so she was keeping her options open. Well, I also keep my options open, so I thought fair enough, I accept that. But after that we just argued every night, instigated by her being drunk from work and still messaging other men. She would come home so drunk, then pass out. The Boom Boom was disappearing, so I would take a look at her phone and she was still messaging other men. I kept ending the relationship because I was bored of the arguing and her messaging other guys, but she would beg and cry and say she was just after money. Why would she let me live in her room, free Boom Boom, etc.? Now I'm getting confused but confident in my looks and what I have to offer the right lady. I thought, okay, the girls want to earn money, why not? She also did post photos of me and her together on Facebook a few times but would delete them when we argued. But enough people saw that we was together. Also, I should add that even on her days off, she would drink beer. She claimed it was to help her forget her problems. She was working very hard at the bar, I'll give her credit. New Year's Eve they made her work a straight 18 hours. She was exhausted and I felt sorry for her, and she kept saying she wanted me to meet her family. So I suggested the trip to Isaan. She wanted a break from drinking and wanted some time to repair her body. I'm an old traveller at heart and I was getting bored of Patong, so she agreed. The flights were expensive and she said, let's travel by bus as it's cheaper. Well, I thought, great idea, a nice way to see the country of Thailand, a 23-hour bus trip. Now, I didn't realise Thailand was so flat in the south, and that's all there was to Isaan. so I won't be doing that again. Although we got the bus from Phuket to Surin, 1,000 baht each, and she paid an extra 1,000 baht for an upgrade to VIP. By now she was buying me some drinks and some meals, and I'm off to meet the family. All looking genuine and sincere still to me, and I'm trying to work on avoiding the arguing and trying to teach her to discuss things like adults. We both said we would honeymoon together in Isaan. Not my expression. The Thais do have some quaint translations of the English language, and I think it's cute being called husband, so I just go along with it. So I'm quite excited. I'm thinking meet the family, go see some sights, maybe mountains, zip lining, etc. Good luck. I know if I took a Thai girl to England, I would of course meet the family and friends, but I would also be showing her London, Brighton and the nicer part of our country, like the quaint countryside, and giving her the so-called English experience they all imagine England is like, and not the Basildon rough council estate town I come from. Anyway, all excited, we arrive in her village, eventually after a taxi ride from Surin. Meet the family, they all start drinking. No problem, she hasn't seen them for 2 years supposedly. I try to talk in Thai, but although I can have a relationship in the Thai language to a decent standard now, I've not learned how to talk about farming, the engine on a pickup truck, etc, etc. I tried quite a lot to talk, and some people were friendly and some blatantly wasn't interested. A far cry from my experience in Prey. Anyway, I paid for the meal 1,000 baht and I agreed. Next day I wake up all excited in anticipation of where I am going. Well, we are back to the sister's shop for a full day of drinking beer and whiskey. Bit bored now, so I sit there, bored. I know you have done another video on this, maybe you could put a link in to save some time in explaining the full story. Anyway, another day of drinking and my girlfriend coming home and passing out. Oh, I forgot to mention that had become a standard now in Patong. Getting drunk at work and passing out, boom boom, on the decline. No problem, surely day 3 we are off to somewhere exciting as we had discussed back in Patong. Day 3 back to the shop for another day of talking about vegetables and getting drunk. I'm really bored now, so I just get the bike and go off and explore myself. Ratanaburi, I head into town, not much of a town, but the locals were very friendly. I managed to practice my Thai and some people approached me to practice their English and I was happy to oblige. But I'm feeling lonely. I've come here to honeymoon, not spend time on my own. I head back and again same thing. I voice my disapproval and tell her this is not what we agreed. However, instead of the usual begging me to stay, I will change, etc., the tables have turned. She becomes angry, violent, abusive. I pack my things and that's when she smashed my phone and gets my England top, runs outside, throws it in the dusty mud and stamps all over it. At this point, my common sense kicks in, and instead of arguing back and having watched your channel and read pages on the internet, plus being given advice by other Falang previously about not arguing in the village as the locals can turn on you, and realizing I'm in the middle of nowhere, I try the calm approach. Tell her I'm sorry to calm down, etc. As I look back writing this, I think she was all about power and control, and at this point she probably thinks she's in control of me and can do as she pleases. The next day I'm ready to escape. Again, maybe provide a link to the other video. I plan my escape carefully, Throughout the day, I carefully decide what I am taking and leaving and position items ready for a quick getaway. I keep my laptop in a safe place all the time. I can't afford for that to be smashed up. She is very observant and keeps questioning the smallest details. I tell her I'm respecting her mother's house, but Thai women are quite smart in certain ways. Anyway, I encourage her to enjoy another full day's drinking with her family. Yes, go enjoy yourself, darling. Get drunk. I wait all day for the moment she comes home and passes out snoring so that I can get the hell out of there. It's also worth mentioning by now she has become very abusive, snapping at me, barking orders, pushing me around physically to do things. Where did this nice girl go? What caused the change? Anyway, nighttime comes and I leave in the middle of the night. I waited for her to pass out, got all my bits in a rucksack and went. There was no taxis or grabs or bolts. It was 2 miles to the nearest main road, then another 6 miles to the main town, Ratanabury. I walked it and had belt in hand and stones, was approached by God knows how many dog packs. I just charged them and they mostly ran off. Packs of 5 dogs in the middle of the night, not nice. I eventually made it to 7-Eleven and asked for a taxi at the 7-Eleven. I was told there was none, but that was actually the location of the bus station. In between all this, she had woken up and was calling me. Not long after arriving at 7-Eleven, some of her family arrived in a pickup truck to try and convince me to go back, which I didn't. It's about 5 a.m. now, and the first bus was 7 or 8 a.m, about half hour late. Some taxi motorbike bloke approaches me and tells me he's been instructed to take me back to the house. No way, mate. Another half hour I see her come to the bus station on a bike. So I hid behind some old buses. After about 30 minutes, I came out thinking she would have gone, but she was still there. More people are at the bus station now. She broke down in tears and begged me to come back in front of everyone for about an hour. I did feel like cracking because I felt sorry for her, but I did not crack. Eventually she gave up and drove off, and I got the bus to Bangkok and the plane to Phuket and got my bits. I'll give you a bit more of her backstory from the village, or what my interpretation is. The mother was awful, very rude, and her mum treated me like crap. She's desperate to win the affection of her mum. She brought her mother some durian, and the mother just grunted and looked away. Not even a thank you. Her older sister married a German man about 20 years ago. The story is about 20 years ago, her sister went to work in Pattaya and met a German bloke within 3 months and married him. And they now live a normal life in Germany, have kids, and they have built a nice house in Isaan. Whilst I was there, I got the feeling that her end goal to build a house to match her sister's, although we didn't really talk much about it on account of her being drunk most days, and pay off the debt, if it is true. She is not interested in travel and living a nice life. She has become money focused, more on that later. The village has loads of ex-bar girls there who speak quite good English. One of them is married to a German man. She has a relatively nice house. The German man spends 10 months a year in Germany and sends money, whilst I'm guessing, unbeknown to her, her Thai husband lives in the house for those 10 months. Another woman tells me she took care of a Swiss man who was elderly until he passed away, but the evil Falang children of the man she took care of are stopping her getting her money. Not quite the quaint, humble, idyllic, rural countryside life that I was expecting. Oh, I should also mention there was one particular man who kept giving me evil stares and kept demanding cigarettes from her. in what I would call a nasty manner. She even gave him some money and he just grabbed it and did not say thank you. Now that could have been her husband, mate. I asked what that was for, and she said to do some work on her land. I asked her if that was her Thai husband, and she laughed and said no, he fancied her at school. Was that the husband? That's what I thought. I'm pretty certain she didn't have time to sneak off for Boom Boom, but these Thai women are very cunning, so who knows? Interested in opinions on this one. Anyway, back in Patong, we have mutual friends, both Thai and Phalang couples, and after talking to our friends, she asked me to go back with her and try again, and to be honest, it was cheap accommodation and the hotels are expensive in high season, so I thought, why not? I work remotely anyway, and I've been studying for some accountancy exams when I need to take, and I wasn't really interested in starting another relationship with a Thai girl, and it was free. Boom boom. However, it's become toxic. There is no love and laughs. She starts talking about how richer other men are in Patong. That old one again. How many times do I have to explain that Westerners come here for a few weeks, blow their money because they are on holiday, then return to the West and live a normal life for 50 weeks of the year? She talks about how much money her friends are making with blokes sending them money. I say to her, you need to find a fat or old man, and she agrees. I say to her, do you want Boom Boom with fat old man? She says she only cares about money now. I've never bought her gold to prove my love. She tells me I'm a poor man and she needs a richer man. Yes, darling, I have good asset money back in the UK and I am an accountant and have my own business. But yes, darling, I'm poor, or as I like to think of it, not stupid enough to lose my money in Thailand. I ask her, do you want Boom Boom with an old man? She says yes, because he will die soon and I will get my money quicker. I'm horrified by that last comment. Did she really mean that? What happened to the innocent new bar girl I met back in February? Has she become arrogant now? I noticed over the months that she had gotten better at doing her makeup and looked a lot better than when I first met her. Maybe the constant being told how sexy she is has gone to her head. I appreciate these girls don't wear makeup in the farm areas and are possibly lacking attention for years of their lives. Then they come to these areas and can be their true selves. I like it too when I was 18 and started going to clubs back in England and was getting loads of attention from girls. I loved it, but I'm 50 now and don't need attention from women to feel good about myself. Boom Boom has long gone, except for when I try to leave. She will initiate Boom Boom. I'm thinking there's no financial gain here, so why keep hanging on to me? Although she said her family disapproved of me and I did not conduct myself well, what can I say? I did go there with good intentions. I learned Thai, I was polite and respectful even when the mother kept grunting at me. I leave again when she is at work and we spend almost a week apart. We talk a little bit on Messenger and she wants to try again. She agrees to change and on my part I agree to some changes. However, in that time I did meet up with my ex a few times. It's her birthday and she has to work, but we agree to meet at our friend's bar around 2 a.m. to finish celebrating her birthday. Now, unbeknown to me, my other ex who I was talking to has been stalking the bar girl's Facebook and rolls up to the bar around 3 a.m. and starts a fight with the bar girl. They both argue in Thai, but I break up the fight. By now I can understand a good 80% of the Thai what's being said, including the insults. I just say when they are both having a go at me. Anyway, the ex leaves and my bar girlfriend starts crying. I try to calm her down, but she's in a proper mood now. She's very drunk. Anyway, so eventually I take her back to the room, undress her before she passes out and put her to bed. I pass out myself, although I'm not living there at this stage. The next day, she invites me to live with her again. By now, I'm just at the stage where I'm going back to England within a fortnight, and I think, okay, cheap accommodation again, but I'll give it a go and be nice and see if the relationship can be fixed. I try being nice, go to the 7-Eleven, buy a few bits for the room, clean the room as she is busy with work, but I can feel it's not really being appreciated. She said not to pick her up from work anymore like I used to, as she was going out with friends, and her friends don't really like me because in their eyes I've treated her badly and bad for lang, Thai pride, etc. Okay, no problem. She heads off to work and I carry on with my work. Then that evening I head to our friend's bar around 10 p.m. in case she changes her mind. I send her a message saying if her friends let her down, I will take her to Bangla. Most expats only go there for an event like a birthday. Anyway, we was all drinking in the bar waiting for her. I explained that she said she might go out with some girlfriends and I see the eyes raise. Anyway, around 4 a.m. she sends me a photo saying she's staying out late in the Taipan nightclub. Now the photo showed an empty nightclub with the waitresses with face masks on. I know that's a low season post-COVID photo. I've been out here for the most part since February and my ex used to be a waitress there, so I know the club pretty well. Now it's high season and the club is rammed, so I knew BS straight away. Anyway, she rolled back to the room about 9:30 a.m. She claimed she slept at her mate's even though she hung up a call around 6 a.m. from me. I went into one and dragged the answer out of her. I asked her outright if she was with a customer and she come clean that she was. I laughed my head off. That's with me living in the room. She cried, saying she hated doing it, but she needed the money and he was flying home tomorrow and it was a one-off, and begged for forgiveness and then asked me for sex, which I didn't give her. Anyway, she then showers and changes into her beach gear and then says I'm off to the beach for the day with her friend again. Wow, I thought, WTF, in front of my face. I said, no problem, I would come with, and she smirked. I just laughed and said, F off with your customer. She cried again, said she didn't like doing it, but the guy is paying her 10,000 baht a day. Now I know the going rate is 1,000 to 4,000 a day. I don't buy sex, but I know the rates. Anyway, off she went. No problem, I thought. I had things to do and I'm going back to England shortly. So again, cheap accommodation, or rather now, free accommodation because I'm not paying anything towards the rent now. Anyway, about midnight, she calls me. She's upset. Can I pick her up? I thought, okay, why not? I've still got some British values in me to rescue a girl who's upset. Maybe the guy didn't treat her well and she needs someone to talk to. We had spent a lot of time together by now and it wasn't always bad, so part of me still cared about her, and I'll be off soon to England to take some exams, so picked her up. When I picked her up, she was emotionless with me. Anyway, we got back to the room. She starts texting the bloke in front of me, but half hiding her phone. I laughed. I said, really? In front of me? She then denies it, so I pick up the phone and she's texting him. Night night, thanks for a nice day, etc. Anyway, she becomes aggressive with me, barking orders. I tell her I will leave, but she says no, stay the night and leave in the morning. She offers me boom boom. I'm not interested now. Anyway, in the morning, she asked me to stay again, and when I return from England, she will give up the bar work and move to Isaan with me. I just said yes, no problem, already knowing that I'm never moving to that village. Then she texts her customer again. I was like, WTF, in front of my face? Did she just really do that? You've just asked me to stay, then text your customer in front of my face. Just when I think I can't get shocked anymore, I get shocked. Who does that? Text a customer in front of your face. She then denies that she texted him, even though I just saw it, and showed me the phone and said it was yesterday. I said, I just see you do it. You're meeting him again today at 10 a.m. The dates are right there. Then she said yes, in that quaint Isaan grunt. So I told her to F off and left. As I write this, she messages me the next day. She said she wants to meet up for lunch, and she only did this thing with a bloke to get back at me because I had hurt her in the past, although there was no apology. I ignored her message and can assure you all I won't be going back. There is no emotion from me now. Zero. I'm not broken-hearted. As far as I'm concerned, it's a story to tell the lads down the pub in England, but I can't lie and say I didn't develop some feelings for her at some point, and I guess there was a part of me that would have liked to have rescued her from the bar, the seemingly innocent girl that I met months ago. I'm also not looking for any sympathy. I've definitely not been perfect in all of this. It's just something I thought I would write for your channel for viewers to decide what the truth is. I definitely messed her around in the early days. I'm interested in your opinion, Dan, and that of the subscribers. I know I didn't really treat her that well emotionally, and we did have some very good times. It wasn't all that bad. What changed? Was it because I was an arse over the months? Was it the disapproval of her family? Was it always within her to rip off a foreigner? Has she become blinded by the money of Patong now the tourists have returned? I estimate that she's taking between 25,000 and 30,000 baht per month. Does she have a Thai husband? Is it because I treated her pretty badly in the early days, flitting between two girls? Is she just a bar girl, the very thing she said she hated? Or did she really want true love? She never asked me for much money, and I never gave any. Just paid a month's rent on her room, the coach fare, and usual boozy nights out, and some food. So I am unsure what the last 8 months was all about from her perspective. Paul. Right guys, well if you got to the end of that story, then congratulations. That was a very, very long story, but it went into great depth, and I'm sure that story is familiar to quite a lot of people that have met girls in the tourist areas and then ventured off to go and meet their families in the village. Guys, there's not really much I can say about this one, and advice that I can give to Paul. It sounded like the guy was her husband that you mentioned, who didn't seem too happy, or he could have just been a guy that fancied her or liked her and thought, what the hell are you bringing this guy back for? The mum didn't like you because you never turned up with a load of money. Her sister managed to get a German guy that's got an house in Isaan and stuff. He's obviously a very rich guy, he's got money. But you just give some fruit to the mum. So yeah, she's thinking, what the hell? I want bloody money. You've not given me any money, so I'm not being super nice to this foreign guy. Why didn't you bring back somebody old, fat, overweight with plenty of bloody money to give to me? Yeah. It was a crazy story, Paul. A lot you brought on yourself, of course. She would have known you're messing about with other women and stuff, and she was trying to get what she could out of you. These Isaan girls that you meet in the bars will lie a hell of a lot. It's their job, really, to lie to foreigners. And she made out like everything was going to be fun when you went to Isaan. You wanted to do zip lining, etc. Yeah, that definitely wasn't going to happen. And she did what a lot of these bar girls do. A lot of them turn into alcoholics at these bars. So when she goes back home and she's got money, she's got a foreigner, then people are going to want to drink with her, and she's going to get drunk and she's going to drink with them all day too. It was a crazy experience. And guys, if you've got input, you want to give Paul, your opinions, your views, then as always, put it down in the comments. If you want to send in your own story, guys, then send your story into thaitalkwithdan@gmail.com. But guys, that was a long story. My mouth's dry. I need to go get a drink. So ciao for now.